going on, you fam? Ryuden here. So as your boy patiently waits for monetization, I get the feeling that YouTube is using lag switch and they're taking their sweet time to look at your boy's channel and review. So I decided I would make a simple little PayPal donation link if you guys would like to donate to support. I strongly advise against doing it if you're a student, or if you're someone with no income, or if you're someone that perhaps has difficulty making ends meet. I don't want this to be something that you guys have to do. You simply viewing is more than enough for me. But should you choose to do it, I would only be comfortable with it should you be someone that doesn't mind parting with a couple coiny boys. I don't want it to be something that you feel like you're obligated to do. So if you're someone that doesn't want to do it, then you really don't have to do it. Don't feel you're obligated to do it. Your support is all that I really need. Just you being part of my audience means the world to me. So if you guys choose to do it, it'd be greatly appreciated. It'd mean a lot. And then once YouTube enables monetization, I'll take it away. What I'm really hoping for with monetization is to give back, really. I would have loved to do a major giveaway as part of the 10K subscribers, but YouTube kind of just waited. They don't even respond to me anymore when I bug them on Twitter. They kind of just give the same automated response, which kind of sucks. It took them 2 weeks to take a look at the review the first time, and they felt the need to wait for a second one, and then they said they'd pool additional resources for it and whatever. And at first I was like, okay, I mean, it's manually done. There are numerous channels out there. Without a doubt it'll take some time, but it's been 5 months now, so I'm kind of like, I guess I should try to take matters into my own hands. I don't really know. Would have been nice to help tackle student loans, because I don't know, we're all struggling. I don't know, but aside from that, for today's video we're going to be doing a transforming Trinity team. You guys probably guessed it when I made that comment about the transforming Gohan that I pulled yesterday, that it'd be a pretty neat team to do. And originally the Holy Trinity had this issue where a lot of the units tended to be you know, you used to have many of the same type on a team. So Holy Trinity used to have a lot of the transforming units used to be blue for whatever reason, but it's only until recently they started to deviate from the colors. So you used to deal with 2 blues and then a whatever, and it would always be difficult because, you know, always having 2 of the same type puts you at a point of weakness. But now that we have a purple transforming Trunks, a green transforming Gohan and stuff like that, that are very good, that are able to be run, you can now make a more diverse Holy Trinity team, or transforming Trinity team rather. So for today's video, the team they're going to be rocking is going to be the transforming Gohan, the new future Trunks, and the golden boy who makes it all possible, Super Saiyan Bardock. And then on the bench we're going to have units that buff the Super Saiyan tag either defensively with additional blast damage or with additional crit damage / chance. So now that we're done talking about that, let's jump into some PvP. Alrighty, here's the first match of the video, going up against the Sun family team. Pleasantly surprised to see this team. I feel like a lot of people have forgotten the Sun family team. I feel like a lot of the focus has shifted over to more prominent tags, even though people are forgetting that the Sun family tag has not fallen off at all. To me personally, I think the Sun family tag is the second best tag in the game right now. Fusion's obviously taking the first spot, but you cannot deny that a team that has 2 legendary finishes, one of the units basically having a second Rising Rush, some absurd stats, last stand units, you cannot deny that they're one of the best teams in the game, without a doubt. I know they may not have the absurd tanky dominance of some of the other teams rather, but I mean, the damage output speaks for itself. It's absolutely absurd. So, you know, going back to the match here, one of the difficult things with this team is everyone is slightly squishy until you get the transformation off. You need to remember that they don't earn the Super Saiyan tag until they transform. For Legends, and for, you know, Dragon Ball Gacha games in general, when they have the tag, they never take away tags. They only add them. So when they start out base form and then they transform to Super Saiyan, that's the only time they get the tag. So a lot of the units on the bench are just buffing the Super Saiyan tag. So unless they transform, they don't have a lot of those buffs. So you have to be very, very careful. But after that, they become very, very strong. They absolutely just slaughter everything, as they would with, you know, Bardock. His passive is essentially timeless, and I feel like the Legends team realized that, and they're like, oh crap, we kind of made something a little too busted, so we're not going to visit that for quite some time. So you'll notice that all we've ever seen is more nerfed versions of Bardock's passive. We don't find anything similar to it. Now you see there, I tried to do the tap attack again, but I kind of screwed up. I cannot charge that right now. I was replying to everyone's little comments on yesterday's video, which I greatly appreciate. I appreciate everyone taking the time to, you know, say something and share their thoughts. It means a lot to me. I wanted to respond to everyone, and it gets a little difficult sometimes. You know, I'm just wee old little Ryuden, and there's quite an audience there, so sometimes it gets hard to reply to everyone. If I don't get to you, I don't want anyone to take offense. Without a doubt, I read what everyone says, but my hands can only handle replying to everyone for so long. Just naturally in my career, I gotta make sure that my hands stay healthy, because, you know, I'm gonna be on the keyboard for quite some time. Can't afford to have my hands be in rough shape before I even start, right? So sometimes I take a little bit of a break responding to people just to let my hand heal. It does affect how I play Legends and my ability to reply to everyone, so yeah, right now I definitely cannot charge step, and I cannot do key canceling properly either, because my hand hurts quite a bit. But you can see what I mean by the Sun family still being incredibly strong. Man, they just keep dishing out crazy amounts of damage. One of the big weaknesses for this team is Trunks also having a 40-second timer count transformation, so you need to remember, when Trunks loses that transformation, he loses a significant amount of buffs, so you have to be careful. Now here, I probably should have used my strike cards in there in between, as opposed to just going for the blue card, but I mean, it's too late now, I already did it. Now I'm looking at the clock, and I have to be very, very careful here, because what interrupts your combo is this coming out of your transformation, so I had to wait there so I can get the tap attack off. Trunks can still do some really good damage despite not having his transformation. He's missing a good amount of buffs right now, but look at this dude. This dude is insane. Absolutely insane. Now I'm close to getting my next Rising Rush, so I'm really banking on that here. And now that we get it off, just do a couple Ki Blasts. I'm trying to do as much damage as possible to make sure that if the Rising Rush fails for whatever reason, it'll be much easier to take the guy out. You would rather have it be a simple tap attack to take him out than it costing another card, because it's far more difficult to hit a card than it is to get a simple tap attack off. But thankfully, we get the card and we get the kill. So we win the first match. Today's matches have been rather difficult, not just because of lag, but my Rising Rush keeps getting guessed, and it feels like PvP is becoming more and more about the Rising Rush, really. It's why I keep pushing for a no Rising Rush mode. It'd be a lot more enjoyable, because, you know, sometimes people have bad starts, like me, and when your opponent gets a Rising Rush already, you know, while they have priority, it's kind of hard to come back from that. I mean, if you've already lost a dude, and they're already working towards their second Rising Rush while they killed one of your guys, oof, that's going to be a hard thing to come back from. Especially, the worst possible scenario is you lost a dude already, and it's a 3v2 because your opponent had a really good start, and then you get your Rising Rush guessed. At that point, it's fair to say you probably lost. It's very, very hard to come back from something like that, especially if they take out your star unit. Like, if, for example, on my team, if they took out Trunks, oof, it'd be pretty hard to come back, because Trunks is just such a crazy damage dealer. He's very vital on the team. Like, if they took out Super Saiyan Bardock, I would lose a significant amount of passive buffs, because this team relies on crits for sure, as do all sort of Trinity teams, but losing Trunks would be a huge detriment to the team. So it's why they absolutely need to do that. I'm really hoping that this August patch, whenever it comes, is gonna do that. I hope they really expand on different PvP modes. That would be very, very helpful for people like myself that want to play something a little different, you know? I think a lot of people would appreciate it as well. Maybe hero-only modes, extreme units only modes. Like, I feel like they're experimenting with it when they do these LBR modes, for sure. Like, if they see a lot of people playing it, I'm sure they see the teams that are run. They probably take a look at the data and they say, okay, well, this team is the only thing we ever see run, and it's less diverse than how PvP is now, so it probably wouldn't do anyone good. People would just complain that, oh, all we see is the same team over and over and over again. So they probably are testing it out right now to see what they can do. But let me tell you, a no Rising Rush mode would be a great start, 100% a great start. I don't think there's a single person out there that wouldn't mind that being there. I'm not saying take it away, nor am I saying nerf it. I'm simply saying provide more options for those that maybe just don't want to deal with it. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt anyone really, and all you gotta do is say, you know, just remove the ability to farm Dragon Balls early. Now going back to the match here, I used so many Ki Blast cards in the hopes of catching him, you know, in the hopes of catching him swap in his Vegito, and he doesn't do it once. But of course, the one strike card that I use, he brings in the Vegito. I was like, Jesus, this dude's level of patience and, you know, analytic skills, that's insane for him to be able to catch all that. That was pretty good. I was very impressed. As you can see, I cannot charge step to save my life. My hand is hurting really, really bad. A lot of these matches were pretty difficult to do, but thankfully we can get rid of this Gotenks. Out of all the fusion units, I honestly think I hate Gotenks and the free-to-play Vegito the most. Now, hate is an awfully strong word, like kind of like how I hated this happening, because I'm pretty damn sure I had my blue card go first, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it really. But I just don't like those units. I don't like Feint, and I really don't. There's just something about free-to-play Vegito that I don't like. I think it's just because he just keeps going and going and going, this defensive guy, and I find his strike card to be really funny, just seeing him flail around like that. It's like, oh my god, just something about you agitates me. Now this guy almost came back with this Super Vegito. It was pretty scary to see. Like, my guys got squashed like they were nothing. But I was very, very lucky to have a Rising Rush in the bank, otherwise he probably would have came back. There's no way Bardock would be able to go toe-to-toe with Super Vegito. If he's the last guy left, and you're in this position and you and your opponent don't have a Rising Rush for sure, the Super Vegito is probably going to win, for sure. The dude just gets stronger as time goes on. There's no way you're going to beat him. It's like the dude's just injecting steroids as time goes on, just a constant flow of steroids. And then here's the final match of the video, going against an Androids team. You're going to see Androids more and more nowadays. I get the feeling that in the near future we're going to see a step-up banner that has like Kid Buu, Android 13, and some other unit. I feel like, without a doubt, anytime Legends does something like this, where they release a unit with a passive to do more damage against something, to me it looks like a safety trigger or a precautionary measure for them if they make a big mistake by releasing a dominant tag. I get the feeling that we're going to see the Androids have a very strong dominance very soon. Now, I swap into the Gohan here because he has a passive. Oh, and Philippe, thank you for subscribing. I swap into the Gohan here because he has a passive that does additional damage against Androids, so I wanted to take a look at what he'd be able to do, but I realized he didn't have enough, so I'm like, get the hell out of here, you freaking avocado, get out of here. I don't want to see your face for at least 10 seconds. And speaking of not seeing his face for 10 seconds, a lot of you guys made note that in my previous match, I was a little confused why Super Vegito kept popping up. I was like, I thought I made this guy's substitution count go up, and it's because of Super Vegito was immune to the debuff because of his green card or something like that. I don't know what it was, but what a way to truly add on how strong that dude is. So thank you for letting me know. Now I get my Rising Rush here, and he swapped out of the cell, so I can comfortably do this. I wanted to get rid of him so I wouldn't have to worry about my Bardock being weak to anything, and also because I didn't want to deal with Feint. But the way that my luck was going with these matches, the dude was probably going to get like 4 Feints in a row, so I wasn't going to risk that. I gotta get him out of here. And thankfully we do. We get him out of the picture. Now we only got 2 guys left, And honestly, an avocado and like a yellow bug, I'm not even afraid, honestly. I'll take you on. I was kind of annoyed that this happened. There's a lot of lag going on in this match, and I feel like I should have been able to dodge that. Not the Kamehameha, obviously I took that, but the green card, I don't know what it is. I'm getting so annoyed, but I realized I really gotta like turn it up here, because Trunks, we gotta go at like full force here to take them all out, especially this Cell. So I use his green card and as make him go Super Saiyan. I really want to get rid of this Cell. Just look at this dude's ability to just shred yellow units. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if he has type disadvantage. He'll kill everything. Cell's just a beast. I mean, Trunks is just an animal here. Even though he's not even a blast type, his blast damage is honestly doo-doo, and he's still doing crazy damage. And then right there, I let go of the charge a lot earlier, but he kind of just kept going. So something I could do about it there. I lost him. It is what it is. But I'm really banking on Trunks being able to hold it together. And look at this, a Rising Rush. I felt like it was already over. I used the green card just because I thought that he would assume I had a green card. I mean, like I didn't have one because I used it. And then he does the green card animation there. I'm like, uh-oh, that's probably a wrap. But it turns out he has two, which is always nice. He goes in for a shoulder tackle. I use another green card. Just Trunks is stacking buffs on buffs on buffs, this dude. Look at this damage. Now, I know the most important thing for me right now is to make sure I save this Vanish. So I make him use his and I go for the blue card because he can't swap out. So thankfully Cell is taken care of. And I know against this dude I can probably survive one combo. But thankfully it goes in for a strike card and I survived that one. Trunks showing why he's not to be messed with. But anyways, this is the third and final match of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new as well. I appreciate everyone that's been supporting me for so long. Today's goal... Actually, what is today's goal? Be happy. That's today's goal. Woo!